what makes the perfect role to play?
Flaw.
Mm.
I think there's nothing more frustrating to play than like a totally good or a totally bad person.
Mm.
I think we were really complex and we have layers and we have parts of each. We have light and shadow. And so what I enjoy to play is complexity.
Welcome everybody to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always, hosted by me, Chris. Welcome everybody to episode number 573. Wonderful episode for you all today. I hope you're doing well. My birthday was yesterday, so there's that. I had a fun time doing a 12 plus hour stream. And, you know, if you want to check that out or everything else, castingfor2.com is the place to go. You can even find my Twitch handle there because, you know, I put it all on one spot. All right, so you're welcome. But yeah, I'm excited to chat about my guests today. They are just wonderful, effervescent human being. And they happen to be in the news in Wednesday. They are in the new season of Wednesday, but which is all out. And I was so excited to chat with them about it. Luyanda Lewis-Nyawo is on the podcast right now, and seriously, I was so happy to chat with them and just find out their acting process and just try to see the levels that they go to, and just phenomenal chat. I'm super excited for you all to listen to. So I'm done talking. So let's get into this episode, okay? So everybody sit back, relax, and Luyande, take it away. This is a pretty loose podcast where we can talk about anything and everything, but I'm always very curious when people catch the bug. And in your case, when did you get that acting bug?
Oh wow, since I was a little kid, really. I
Hmm.
mean, I went to I remember being Incy Wincy Spider like in a little school recital. That was really fun. And then at like prep school, we did a production of The Jungle Book and I played
Hmm.
Baloo.
Oh.
And I think from then on, I really just loved it.
Uh-huh.
So at every opportunity, whenever there was a school performance or some kind of thing where I could like engage in drama. My parents and my grandmother at the time also got me into like after school drama clubs and things like that because they sort of just like realized it was something that I was really passionate about and good at. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, from like early childhood, I think I kind of caught it. And then obviously you grow up, you let
Mm-hmm.
go of some of your dreams, but like it was always like percolating in the back of my mind. And
Yeah.
then when you know when my circumstances improved, I was like, okay, cool, let me give this a go. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I don't do it, you know, I'll regret it. So I
Right.
did. And so now I'm here.
Ah, fantastic. What a fantastic role to just kind of hook you into acting when you're like Baloo the Bear is just such a fun role. Like, how can you not get into acting after doing that? It's like, of
Yeah,
course, all
of
all of
course.
acting is like this fun, right? Fun
Yeah.
roles. So, I love that. I always think about those roles that, oh man, if only if I played Willy Wonka,
Yeah.
like that would have been it for me. I would have been like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, same trajectory of, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this is the funnest thing ever. So
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
always like I think it was singing the Jungle Book. I mean the
yes,
Jungle Book, the Bare Necessities.
yeah.
And ever since then, I've just loved doing this. I've just loved this job. I've loved everything about it, all its kind of mediums and styles,
Mm.
or how it manifests itself in the world. I just love it.
Nice. And so, we were talking earlier about you're doing a new project, but
Mhm.
I'm very curious about the process of getting into a character's headspace. And
Mm.
for you, what kind of steps do you take for that to happen?
Well, I'm Jacques Lecoq, Michael Chekhov, and Stanislavski trained.
Mm,
So I use a lot. I lean quite heavily on Michael Chekhov
hmm
more than anything else. So I use a lot of imagined body work. Sort of like a step up from like the magic if, and then I will just start like finding my characters' individual atmosphere, finding my characters' like qualities of movement,
hmm
where I think their will center, where I think their center is, but is it their will center, their feeling center, or their thinking center? Think about their body, maybe do some imagined body exercises, and that's all kind of happening in conjunction with like practical research, right?
mm,
Like, what are the given circumstances for my character? Like, for argument's sake, with Wednesday, this
hmm
person is a sheriff. So, what is day to day? What is every day? What does paperwork look like?
Yeah.
What tasks do they fulfill every day? Do they rack their gun when they come into the sheriff's department? Do they carry it with them all the time? Where do they keep it in their home? All manner of questions, just so,
hmm
so that you kind of have a sense of who that is. And then I'll spend some time in my living room just kind of improving that and
mm,
living that and trying to imagine that and just having a play, really, until that feels like it's in my body and I have something that I can call on to when so that I have something that I can call on when I'm on set, so that it feels rich and full and I don't have to worry about all of that. Because ultimately, as well, like the rest of the team, especially in motion picture,
hmm
the rest of the team is also telling that story with you collectively. You don't have to tell every single story about the sheriff's department, because then I can just focus on my intentions in the scene,
Right.
and playing with other people, right? So yeah, a lot of work goes into it because I'm a little bit like pedantic like that, and also it just helps me ease my anxiety if I feel prepared or over prepared.
Yeah.
But that would usually be my process, is scanning the text as much as possible for the givens, and then beginning to flesh out my research, and then my sort of imaginative process through Michael Chekhov technique, Jacques Lecoq technique, and Stanislavski. And then having those just kind of run on tandem with each other, and then staying flexible with it, like not, you can't make fixed decisions, because
Mm.
a director will have a vision, a showrunner will have a vision, the writer will have a vision about what. So you've got to be flexible and willing to collaborate, I think.
Right.
Yeah, and that's always worked for me. It's really involved and really nerdy and really technical, and that's what I do.
I love that though, and but I'm glad you mentioned having that flexibility, because you
Yeah.
don't want to be the one person to be like Tim Burton. No, I'm gonna do it this way. Okay, thank you.
Well, yeah,
It's like
yeah, no, for sure.
it's Tim Burton, so
Yeah,
you
yeah. I think like all storytelling at the end of the day
yeah.
is collaborative,
hmm
outside of maybe oral storytelling, and even then you're collaborating with the last person you heard the story from. So like I think it's important to have that sense of flexibility and that sense of discovery, so that it's happening for the first time. Because if you get fixed,
hmm
you're playing a pattern of delivery rather than playing the moment.
Right, right. And so has there ever been a moment, you finish up work or for the day, and
Yeah.
they call cut, all that good stuff. Has there ever been a moment where you just need to come down from a character, like, okay, give me 5 minutes in my trailer, let me come back to reality, and then I'll be, you know, me again?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's often happened to me
hmm
with theater roles more,
mm
I'd say.
Okay.
When I did The Convert, I think we rehearsed for 5 weeks,
mm
6 weeks, 5.5 weeks,
hmm
and then we ran for about a month, no, 2.5, 2 and a bit months, end of 2018 into 2019, and that character has stayed with me my whole life. Because she's just so similar to me, but
Oh,
also so different. And yeah, that would take time to
Okay.
to sort of come down from. I mean, you don't have time to kind of like hang around in the theater for too long, but it was a process. Like there wasn't really anything else I could fill my time with during the day, because you always kind of joke and say, oh, when it's show calls, I'll occupy my time with other interests until 4 p.m. and then head to the theater, which never happens because you're just exhausted. But
Yeah.
particularly with this character, I really had to give myself space. It was a point at which I sort of said to myself, I need to take a slight break from deeply dramatic roles or anything that deals with colonial history for a little bit, because it was really quite painful to kind of contend with afterwards. And now I feel ready again, because that's my wheelhouse, is dramatic roles. Like I know some people think that I'm funny, but I'm really not. I'm much better at doing the sad, punch you in the gut kind of stuff, and I much more enjoy it as well. But yeah, I'm ready to return to that a little bit, but that was really emotionally draining and psychologically draining, and I had to work for a long time after that to readjust my brain slipstream. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, are there ever moments where, like you'll do something, stir your tea, anything like that, and then it just kind of flashes you back to, oh man, this I used to do this as the character, or do you ever have those moments of,
Yes.
oh my gosh, the character took over?
Yes, absolutely. I feel like there has to be some more like neurological studies. Somebody who's got a bigger brain than I do. Like there have been some studies into what fires off in the actor's brain, but ultimately one of the reasons why I love Michael Chekhov so much is the sort of idea of a little bit a lot, right? So for one character I did at drama school, I played a character who was left-handed. Well, in my imagined body, they came to me as left-handed, and so I messed up several batches of eggs in the morning with breakfast, because I would every day do things with my left hand to feel that sense of shift in the body, like. When I did Prudence in The Convert, a sort of similar thing, because actually the brain can't tell the difference between memory and imagination. Physically, like physiologically, it actually cannot tell the difference. So this idea of a little bit a lot is that you will improvise, and you will, like, kind of almost like a meditative state where you will visualize and imagine and try and invoke the sense, the touch, the sights, the sounds of the experience. So for argument's sake, with Prudence, it would be my husband's funeral after he's been murdered, right? And I would imagine that whole step, and how they didn't pour me cups of tea and didn't make a seat for me because I was a person of color, right? And I would have these full, rich memories of this entire life, but your brain cannot tell the difference. So that you do that for weeks before you get onto a stage, so that by the time you get onto the stage, you're not faking it anymore. You're actually remembering when you walked to the funeral, because you put it into your brain so vividly. I'm very lucky in that I'm one of those people I can vividly, visually imagine in my mind. Some people imagine in different ways. I'm fortunate for myself that I can vividly imagine visually in my brain. So that's always helpful for me. I'll always get flashes, like random flashes. I remember how the stones were gathered around his grave as they had put the soil aside. Like that didn't happen. That's not real. But I know I can remember how what the rock formation was, and how it was like sort of slight sloping into the open grave. Like that didn't happen. Not real. But because I remembered it so often, so a little bit a lot, so many times, my brain can't tell the difference. It'll go fetch it. And I can feel, even talking about it now, I can feel the memory. I can feel the feeling. So that's the sort of little trick. Well, not trick, technique that I learned for 3 years that I apply to sort of what I do. And I find that fascinating, that the brain can't tell the difference between memory and imagination.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just hearing that, I've never gotten an answer like that. So that's why I'm just like, oh, wow, that is amazing. Because
it's kind of why like witness testimony is so difficult, even in court cases, right? Like you have to get a witness hot on the day, fresh. The longer you don't find them, the more distorted the memory comes, because you're only remembering the last time you remembered it. Right? No one's ever remembered anything wrote. So if you play with that as an actor, with your brain's neuroplasticity, the sky is the limit, but it has consequences.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
So,
Well,
yeah.
so I mean, I hope you're doing things when you're not acting just to, you know,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know, be you. But well, kind of my next thing, like what sort of things do you do when you're just like, okay, I do want to relax and I would just want to be me. Are you somebody who listens to like a lot of music, or are you an avid reader? Like what kind of feel good things do you do for yourself?
Yeah, I love to garden. I love to grow
Mm.
my own food and flowers. I find it really like meditative. I'm an avid reader as well. I play loads of video games. I play way too much Dungeons and Dragons or like any TTRPGs really. Those are the things I really kind of tend to enjoy. Watching a lot of animated film
Mm.
or anime, like things like that I really like for myself. I take myself out into nature as much as I can,
Mm.
as much as I'm able or have accessibility to it. And like I'm also deeply fascinated with that process of stepping away from something because, like because of my experience with having to deal with something quite difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also I train actors sometimes at the Guildford School of Acting. So I'm always they're always asking me, so what do you do when you want to step away from something difficult? So I have been sort of tweaking what I do. Like I meditate, I chant.
Mm.
I'm a Buddhist. Like I try to center and ground myself as often as I can. And really having found gardening over the last sort of year and a half, I find that really grounding because you're literally dealing with the soil. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I really, really deeply enjoy.
That's, I tried to get into uh, not like plant life
Yeah,
during the pandemic, and
yeah,
I said I'm going to start out with an air
oh,
plant and
mhm,
just take it from there. And
yeah.
I'm probably the only person in the world to kill an air plant. I'm like, I don't know how I did it, but I just watered the thing every once in a while. And so gardening is um I feel like there's more steps into gardening where, I mean, you can always mess it up, but I feel like it's harder to mess up, if that makes any sense.
I
Uh,
mean, I feel like, I think I just really got super into permaculture and
yeah.
like just understanding. And once I got my understanding around like soil and
Yeah.
hugelculture,
Yeah.
and no dig method, sorry, and then like soil health.
Yeah.
Because once the soil is healthy, you're actually fine.
Right.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff will grow. Like it's actually astonishing how much stuff will grow. And then if stuff doesn't grow due to lack of sunshine, that's totally
Mm,
beyond your control. It's lack of
right.
sunshine, right? So
Right.
it's just like preparation. I mean, I'm terrible at indoor plants as well. I've killed many indoor plants myself. But outdoor plants, I've found my calling. I think I've actually been really, really lucky. Even stuff in my greenhouse has done really, really well. We've had cucumbers, aubergines, tomatoes, chilies,
Ooh.
all
Okay.
manner of herbs. We've had mizuna, pak choi, we've had broccoli, we've
Oh.
had all sorts of things. Kale, like I've just grown a bunch of stuff. So like I think it's been a lot easier. It's been a lot easier. And also the UK is a pretty forgiving climate. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's pretty temperate.
Yes.
It's even in the summers, even with those heat waves, they're sort of like, there's 3 a year and they're really great for your tomatoes. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm not saying the weather in the UK is like the Pacific Northwest, but I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, so I kind of get the whole like dreary,
yeah, rainy.
rainy, like I love the rainy, like that's my thing.
Yeah, I
And
love it. I love weather.
yes, yes, and I live in Texas now, but I,
Just sunshine all the time.
well, yes, but it's also heat.
Yeah.
The tomatoes, I don't know. Like it's been triple digits And it had no fun, no fun.
No fun.
And I'm just trying to keep the grass alive now. That's kind of what
Okay.
I moved on to.
Yeah.
But still, whenever it rains, I'm just like, oh, I don't have to water. Like nature is taking care of everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, I love the weather. I love that weather.
That's good. No, it's great. It's great.
But I was also gonna say,
Mm.
you mentioned you play Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm.
You must be uh, a fun dungeon master. Or
Yeah.
like I don't know the terminology, but like the
Yeah.
person who comes up with the whole game,
Yeah.
just
Dungeon Master or
dungeon
Games Master.
game, yeah. Oh, with the stuff that you can bring up, and uh, that must be on a whole other level, like just fun if you do
Yeah,
that.
it's really, really fun. I love it. I love world building. Again,
Yeah.
I really love storytelling. So like what D&D gave me was like another way to do that. And also you get to do it with your friends and it's
Mm.
fun. And you get to while away hours just telling a really beautiful story together. And it gives my brain like an outlet for all of its crazy ideas. They get to go somewhere and they get to be alive in the world. There's so many beautiful games out there created by some incredibly talented people. And I wish more people played, TTRPGs
Mm.
because it's just such a key into like communal storytelling in a way
Mm.
that I think um, in a lot of Western society has kind of like disappeared
Mm.
as like people like live in their individual homes. I think it's quite nice to bring everybody together once a month with snacks and you tell a story together that kind of harks back to the fireside. And it feels really ancient and beautiful and healing, I find as well. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. I love creating new worlds that are really exciting and
Nice.
bringing joy to people.
Do you ever feel bad when you reach the end of a campaign and then you have to say
Oh yeah.
goodbye to?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. It's always sad when like a story finally comes to an end, I think. Like and it's sad for the sort of, it's sad for everybody at the table because depending on how long you've been playing these characters, like you really get attached. You're like really,
Mm.
really attached to them and beautiful moments happen at table. So like so many beautiful moments happen at table. So it is a little bit of a shame, but then it's about a month, and then everybody's like, "Okay, cool. What's the next game?" And then we start finding the next one. You know?
I'm still trying to heal from what happened. Not slow down.
Nah, let's roll dice again. It'll be fine.
Well, and then I wanted to ask you
Yeah,
a Wednesday question because
yeah, of course.
I'm so glad the rest of the episodes came out because I
Mm.
had my girlfriend and I we love the show, so we were able to um, watch it all.
Yeah, yeah,
But I'm very curious. You're playing Sheriff Santiago.
yeah.
Was it kind of, I don't know, intimidating coming into being the new person in the new role, because there was another sheriff last season, and now that
Yeah.
you're the sheriff. So was
Yeah.
that kind of intimidating in any way?
I mean, I don't necessarily think it was intimidating, I guess, because I'd been in the first season and I played the deputy, so I knew
Yeah.
Jamie, and like I felt like, I mean, look, it was intimidating to have the new responsibility, like
Yeah.
and having to like fill those shoes. But I guess all I had to do was just make sure that I was playing my sheriff and telling my version of those events. Like I think that I think it'd be scary if I had to somehow live up to Sheriff
Mm.
Galpin. I think even inside in story, like in canon, Santiago is trying to differentiate herself from that
Right.
era, right? And bring stability back to Jericho and Nevermore as much as possible, as much as humanly possible, with varying degrees of success or rather failure. But yeah, I think that it was there was a lot of responsibility that I knew would come with it, but it wasn't necessarily intimidating in a scary way. It was
Mm.
more just like, okay, better get my big boy pants on and do the work, right?
Yeah, yeah. And whenever you're, reading the scripts, do you ever just I know you have the character,
Mm,
and the character would react this way.
mm.
But I'm just like, when's the sheriff just gonna listen to Wednesday and be like, okay, you know what's going on. We get, I'll just listen to you. Do you ever just wish like, I wish the sheriff would just listen.
I mean, I think it's really tricky because ultimately, like, a character can only really play their experience. They can only live their experience and their intentions, right? And at the end
Yeah.
of the day, no matter how skilled or talented or powerful any of these kids are,
Hmm.
they're kids at a high school,
Yeah, that's
right?
true. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
at the end of the day, they're kids at a high school, and somebody has to keep them safe. And if one of them gets hurt, it's going to come down to the people are going to ask questions of the sheriff's department and of the principals and the people in power, right? But the sheriff's department is going to be asked, how could you let this happen to a child, right?
Right.
So doesn't it, you know what I mean? Like, has got to do a job, and I think in a way she does
Yeah,
listen, she heeds it, she notes it, but
yeah.
she's not gonna give she's not gonna give that inch, right? She's not gonna encourage it because
Right.
really she would just like Wednesday to not do all of this and stay safe.
Right. Right.
you know so if she encourages it too much, then that causes another problem,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that even though Wednesday is psychic and highly skilled, and totally capable of taking care of herself, as an adult in the room, I think that that's just something that I was playing with. It's like, well, I'm the adult, and
Right.
it's
Right.
my job to protect you, regardless of what you think you're doing in the situation. And I really just wish you keep yourself safe.
Right. And look, I got protocols I got to follow. Okay. I'm sorry.
And I'd be the one who'd have to call your mom or go to their house and tell them that their kid isn't coming home, right? Like, then
Right.
that's a horrible thing to do. Like, I don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
please, please, I beg you, go
That,
back to class.
that, and you're giving me paperwork I got to do. Come on.
So much paperwork. You know what I mean? So I think that, and I think that the beauty of Santiago in the show, in this ensemble, right, is that she's one of the few characters that grounds the show in a
Yeah.
sense of reality. That like, it's a counterpoint. So like, you have to kind of know what you're playing against. And like, would I, like Luyanda, like, sometimes want Sheriff Santiago to listen? Sure. But I think in the world, probably, like, no, I think she has to do her job.
Yeah. Yeah. When the first season happened, it was
Yeah.
kind of a, I don't know, like an adjustment for me personally, just because there are all these kids with all these abilities, and my reference
Mm.
was only the '90s movies, so I'm just like, wait, those kids exist. But then second season happens, and now you're just like, okay, there's dead Christopher Lloyd head. All right, what's going on here, people? And I'm just kind of already in it, like, okay, this is
Yeah.
what's in the world. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just love it. I love it.
Yeah. I'm glad. I'm so glad. And I'm so glad so many people are enjoying the show and really resonating with it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real gift to a lot of people, especially all sorts of people, but especially young people who might feel like they are alone in being different or strange. I think it's important to have something out there that sends the message that you're not alone, and it actually makes you really cool, and that's your superpower.
Yeah, and also there's always going to be people that you can connect with. That
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
You'll
yeah,
find.
I'm just getting like modern day like X-Men vibes, because
Yeah.
that's what the
Yeah.
comic did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. But so before I let you go, I do
Mhm.
have one question
Of course.
that will tell me everything that I need to know about you. So there's no pressure, none whatsoever. No, but I'm always curious, for you, what
Mm.
makes the perfect role to play?
Uh, for me, what makes the perfect role to play?
Yeah, or character, I guess.
Character. Flaw.
Mm.
I think there's nothing more frustrating to play than like a totally good or a totally bad person. I think we are really complex and we have layers and we have parts of each. We have light and shadow. And so what I enjoy to play is complexity. I enjoy to play flaw. I think it doesn't matter whether that's like a good guy or a bad guy, or, who that, the kind of archetype that is coming across as, but as long as that character is flawed and kind of just figuring it out as they go along, unsure. I enjoy that. Like people who are certain freak me out. Because that's weird because none of us are.
Right.
I like uncertainty, and I find that interesting and fascinating to play with. I like somebody who is figuring it out as well, because that's something that you can actually you can actually hold on to, whether they're in the depths of sorrow or they're falling in love. As long as there's something in them that makes them human and complex and flawed, then I'm interested.
Nice. I love that, and I couldn't agree with you more on just like uncertainty is what makes us human and want to learn. Because I know if somebody walks in like I know everything, I'm like, go away, no, go, yeah, just go away.
Yeah.
But for people at home who would like to follow you on the online, where can they do that?
They can find me on Instagram. It's my full name at Luyanda Lewis-Nyawo. No hyphen in my surname. That's where I'm at.
There we go. Well, again, thank you so much for chatting with me. I loved you. I love your approach with acting, and man, whenever you want to come back and talk more about it, I would love to just hear all about it, because I'm just fascinated with somebody giving up their brain to acting, and I'm just like, wow.
I will. Absolutely. I'd love to come back.
Perfect.
I'm happy to.
But until then, you have a wonderful rest of your day and keep staying safe and healthy. All right.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.